Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to all 12 tribes scattered. There's 12 tribes of Most High Yah scattered in the world, throughout the earth in captivity. Shabbat Shalom to all of the Gentiles also that are seeking to be grafted in to the nation of Israel through the power of the Hebrew Messiah, Yahweh Shai, to be worshipers of the God of Israel, of Isaac, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name we call Yahweh, and whose root of that is Yah. Greetings, Shabbat Shalom to you who are seeking to bring honor to the same Yah through obedience to his covenant by the power of his spirit of perfect righteousness. Shabbat Shalom. Listen to your body. Shabbat Shalom, Isha, Josephine. Most High bless you this morning with his spirit. Okay, brothers and sisters, we are going to continue today we're going into an important topic that we started last night. Very important topic. The year 2027, we're going to be talking about that coming out of Isaiah. We're studying Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, and we're in Isaiah 61. And I told you last night, I'm going to repeat now for those who may not have heard it. There is some numerology involved. Now, I don't consider myself a numerologist. Like, I don't base my whole life on numbers. But I would be naive and willfully ignorant if after reading the Bible from cover to cover 15 or 16 times, I've lost count, I didn't come to the conclusion that numbers plays a significant role in the Bible. Numbers. Not the book of Numbers that's in the Bible, numbers in general, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, play a significant role in the Bible. I think most people understand a prominent number, for example, in the Bible is the number 7. The earth was created in 7 days. On the 7th day, the Most High instituted a time period for the 7th day that was to be called holy, separate from the other 6 days. He called it Sabbath. And he said it was sanctified, set apart, because it showed that what he did in the other 6 days, it showed what he did in creating this earth and man and everything on it. And so 7 was the perfection, the conclusion of the creation. 7 represents perfection, a perfect number. When you see the number 7 in the Bible, you understand it represents completion, perfection. The number 12 is important in the Bible. There were 12 tribes of Israel. Israel is the name of a man that used to be called Jacob. Upon his birth, he was named by his mother and his father Jacob, or Yaakov, excuse me. Yaakov, sorry. Yaakov in Hebrew, Yaakov. In English, when they instituted J's about 500 years ago, it was Jacob. But there's no J's in the original Hebrew, and there was no J's when the brother was born. So it's Yaakov. Okay. But for the sake of clarity, for those of us that don't know that, I say Jacob. Anyway, he's the name of a man. Very important man, because he's a descendant of Yishak or Isaac, who's a descendant of Abraham, who was promised by the Creator certain things. Okay. And of this man, Jacob, he had 12 sons. And the 12 sons each became a tribe of a promised nation named after him, called Israel. So 12 is important. And the Most High emphasized that, as we talked about last night. He had Moses to build a place called the sanctuary. that had 2 apartments, 2 rooms in this sanctuary. And the first room had a table, and they put out bread every day on this table, 12 loaves of bread. They had a high priest. Messiah is our high priest, and he wore a breastplate that had very precious stones in the plate on his chest. 12 stones representing the 12 tribes. The stones were ordered by the order of the birth of Jacob's sons, starting with Reuben and ending with Benjamin. In the city that's going to be the capital city of the planet Earth very shortly. It's not now, but it's going to be called New Jerusalem. 12 gates. Each gate has the name of a son of Jacob on the gate, which represents his tribe, his descendants of that son. Okay? The Messiah chose 12 apostles. 12. So 12 is a significant number in the Bible. Generally, it represents Israel. It has to do with the 12 tribes of Jacob. Okay? Today, we're going to discuss another important number in the Bible, the number 40. The number 40. Very important number in the Bible. Let's take a look at some of the places where we see the number 40. Now, and I'm going to try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone in this first one because it handles 2 things that we're looking for here. Okay. Numbers chapter 14. Numbers chapter 14. Okay, well, I'm going to start at Numbers chapter 12, actually. Numbers chapter 12. So the Most High used Moses, or Masha, or Moshe, depending on how you see the Hebrew. In my estimation, it'd be Masha, but okay. Moses, those of you that don't know those things. He was chosen by the Most High to be an intercessor between the Most High and Israel, and to lead Israel out of their captivity. They were in captivity. They had gone down into Egypt, free people. But over the course of time, Jacob went down into Egypt. He was 130 years old. He was 130 years old when he went down into Egypt. Okay. At that time, when Jacob went down into Egypt, it had been 215 years. 215 years from the time that his grandfather, Abraham, was called from Ur of the Chaldees. Abraham was 75 years old when he was called to leave Ur of the Chaldees and go to the land which was called Canaan, which was a land of promise. He did not own the land, but the Most High, his God, Yah, told him, I'm going to give you and your descendants this land. He left at age 75. 215 years later, his grandson, Jacob, arrived in Egypt. Okay. Jacob died 17 years after he arrived in Egypt. He died 17 years later. Prior to Jacob going to Egypt, his son Joseph had already been there. His son Joseph had been there for more than 20 years. His son Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers and this Ishmaelite to the Ishmaelites. The Ishmaelites came down and sold him to Egyptians. And he was 17 when he went into Egypt. He was there first. And Joseph died at age 110 in Egypt, at age 110. Okay, he died at age 110 in Egypt. 286 years from Joseph's death to when Abraham was called of Ur the Chaldees. 64 years later, Moses was born. 64 years after Joseph's death, Moses was born. Okay? And so Moses was chosen to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. Right? And so they got out of Egypt. You know the story. They came out of Egypt. The Most High delivered them miraculously. And he led them through the wilderness. And some months later, they were on the borders of Canaan. They were on the borders, ready to cross the river Jordan to go into the promised land that was promised to their father and our father, Abraham. So here we are in Numbers. I'm going to go to Numbers chapter 13. I'm sorry, I said 12. Numbers 13. Numbers chapter 13. So here they are at the border of the river Jordan in a place called Kadesh Barnea. Kadesh, interesting. Kadesh means set apart. We call the spirit Ruach Kadesh, which means a set apart spirit. So they're in a place called Kadesh Barnea, and they're ready to go in. And in chapter 13, Moses is going to send representative of the 12 tribes to check the land out before the rest of the people come in. Now you're dealing with 603,550. That's how many men of war Israel had. 603,550. That they did not count women and children and people that weren't men of war in part of the count. When you see them leaving Egypt, they talk about 603,000. That's the men of war from 20 years old and upward that were prepared for war. Not everybody 20 years old and upward was a warrior, but they only counted the male warriors. Y'all need to remember that when you talk about the 144,000. They're only counting male warriors. So he takes from among them 12 of them, one representing each tribe, and he's going to send them into the land to check it out before they go in. Here we go. Numbers chapter 13. I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 16. Okay. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Send thou men, that they may search the land of Canaan, or Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel. Of every tribe of their fathers shall ye send a man, every one a ruler among them. And Moses, by the commandment of Yahweh, sent them from the wilderness of Paran. All those men were heads of the children of Israel. So these are the chief warriors of the 12 tribes. And these were their names. Of the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, the son of Zakur. Of the tribe of Shimon, Shaphat, the son of Hori. Of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, remember that brother, the son of Jephunneh. Of the tribe of Issachar, Igal, the son of Joseph. Of the tribe of Ephraim, Hawashai, remember this brother, the son of Nun. Of the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, the son of Raphu. Of the tribe of Zebulun, Gada'al, the son of Sadi. Of the tribe of Joseph, namely the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, the son of Susi. Of the tribe of Dan, Amiel, the son of Gamali. Of the tribe of Asher, Shethur, the son of Mikael. Of the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, the son of Vophsi. Of the tribe of Gad, Gaual, the son of Malki. These are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land. Watch this now, verse 16. And Moses called Hawashai, the son of Nun, Hawashai. Interesting. That's who we call Joshua. His name was Hawashai, which was called Hosea. When you see, there's a book in the Bible called Hosea. That was his original name, Hosea or Hawashai. What does that mean? Exist to save. Exist to be a savior. Exist to save. Moses changed his name. He said, you're not going to be called Hawashai anymore or Hosea. You're going to be called Hawashai because it's Yah that exists to save. This man, of course, would be destined to lead the children of Israel into the promised land. He's destined to do that. But anyway, let's go from verse 17. From verse 17 down to verse 20. All right. And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, get you up this day southward, and go up to the mountain, and see the land, what it is, and the people that dwell therein, whether they be strong or weak, few or many, and what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and the cities that they dwell in, whether they be tents or in strongholds, and what the land is, whether it be fat or lean, whether there be wood therein or not, and be of good courage, and bring the fruit of the land. Now, the time was the time of the first ripe fruits. So they went into the land, 12 tribes now. Verse 25. And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. So they were there 40 days. Went in there. Now, obviously, they came back, and the Bible said they came back and they reported. Let's take a look at it. Let's go from verse 23. I'm going to read from verse 23 and go down to verse 28. And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff. And they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs. The place was called the brook Eshcol because of the cluster of grapes which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of children of Israel, and unto the wilderness of Paran, to Kadesh. And they brought back word unto them, unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told them and said, we came unto the land whither thou sentest us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey. This is the fruit of it. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land. Their cities are walled and very great. Moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. So they went and spied it out. It was full of good fruit. They brought back the fruit of the land. People were, wow, look at these grapes, figs, pomegranates. This grows there? Yes. It's like now, go to the island and you see the mangoes, and you be like, we don't get this like this. Or you see the jackfruit, or you see the papaya that grows in some of these places, and you be like, wow, that happened. Wow. But that wasn't all. From verse 29 down to verse 33. This is where the 40 comes in. And the Amalekites dwell in the land in the south, and the Hittites, and the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people. Caleb, tribe of Judah. He stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. Caleb understood the Yah that he served. Okay. But the men that went up with him said, we be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land, which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof. And all the people we saw in it are men of great stature. And we saw giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants. We were in our own sight as grasshoppers when we saw it in their sight. Caleb and Joshua were strong. They said, we go take this. And the other 10 said, no, we can't take it. In other words, you brought us up out of Egypt to get crushed by these giants, Most High. They were there 40 days. Let's turn to Numbers chapter 14, verse 34. So it got to the point, I'm just going to skip and tell you before we get to read verse 34. It got to the point that they were ready to kill Joshua and Caleb for telling them they could take the land. They were ready to kill them. Okay. Wait, let me read that part. Numbers 14 from verse 1 to 10. Okay. And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, would Yah that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would Yah that we had died in this wilderness? Wherefore have Yahweh brought us into this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return to Egypt? They wanted return to slavery. I know it sounds crazy, but don't think it's too crazy. Because even now, there are Israelites that want to stay in slavery. Even now. And they said one to another, let us make a captain and let us return into Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Joshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes. And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If Yahweh delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only rebel not against Yahweh, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and Yahweh is with us. Fear them not. But all the congregation bade, stoned them with stones. And the glory of Yahweh appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. And Yahweh said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? How long will it be ere that they believe me for all the signs which I have showed unto them? Brothers and sisters, let me just tell you something right off the bat. Right off the bat. It will never look positive for the Israelites on this earth. It will never look positive. You're always going to be outnumbered and outgunned. You always are. Don't ever think you're going to be in the majority and have an advantage in terms of earthly look, in terms of the way people look at things. You're never going to have enough guns or bombs or people to overcome your enemies in this earth. Never. Why? Because the glory has to be Yah's. And that's what we don't understand. The glory has to be Yah's. If we could save ourselves, we would not need a Most High. And that's the point. Satan said to Eve, you could be your own God. That's the point. We cannot be. And those that trust in Yah understand that. And if you're going to believe in him, don't doubt him. Either believe or step. Let me say that again. Either believe or step. That's what they said. They said, don't rebel against Yah. He brought us here. He delivered us from Egypt. Don't rebel against him. They had all the signs, all of the stuff that came on the Egyptians, the Red Sea parting, the manna that was feeding them, the standing at Sinai and hearing his voice, to the point where they had to tell Moses, please tell him to stop talking, because the more he talks, he's going to kill us all with his voice. They had all of these evidences of him being him. And when they saw man, bigger, stronger, more muscles, more weapons, more height, giants, they forgot all about that. And let me tell you something. I know we could look at it and see it. It's written for us, upon whom the ends of the world are come. But I want to tell you, when you see tanks rolling down your street, you better stand firm. And you better learn now to trust your creator. It's getting real now. This 2020, man. It's getting real now. And this is just dress rehearsal time. But you got to be able to stand like Joshua and Caleb. You got to know who you serve. Or just keep walking. Go to Islam, go to Catholicism, go to Christianity, go somewhere. But don't stay with this. Either you in or not, because it's coming to that right now. These brothers was in. His own brothers said stone them. In other words, if it was today, somebody would say shoot them. If it was today. See, then they didn't have no guns. He said stone them with stones for saying that. Their own brothers. And Moses had stoned them too. You think they're crazy, right? You see crazy right now because the majority of these Hebrews don't believe. They're not in. Mm-mm. And you know what? We getting ready to see. We getting ready to see. You understand? I always tell you, the proof is in the pudding, brothers and sisters. I could talk till I'm blue in the face. When it's hitting you and me, we're gonna see. We're really gonna see. Okay? The Most High is appointing me to teach this word. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But even me, you, me, everybody, we getting ready to get tested. We're gonna see what this is made of right here. 40 is a number of testing. Verse 34, 14:34. So he tells them, you're not going in the land. All the people that saw the land and all you adults talking about stone, you're not going in. Because of your rebellion. See, unbelief, in the New Testament, they use the word unbelief. They use the word unbelief in Israel. You see it. But if you look the word up, even in the Greek, it means rebellion. Rebellion against the Most High is unbelief. Think about that now. Think about it. Rebellion against the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is unbelief. That's what they call it. It's rebellion. Okay? That's why he said, only rebel not. Only rebel not. Paul said they didn't go in because of what? Unbelief. It's not theoretical. See, we're used to living in a Caucasian, European-based system. And their system is based, listen now, their system is based on a Greek philosophy. And the Greeks stole it from Egyptians, where they wanted to go back. Philosophy. Philosophy is not faith. Philosophy is not Yah. Okay? As you can see a tree, you can feel a rock. That's Yah, because you know what? He spoke that into existence. That's real. Philosophy is questioning him, questioning whether he is, questioning if he did it. You see, brothers and sisters, there is a difference. And this is what I'm trying to tell y'all right here. There are people that question the validity of the Bible. Now, if heathen do that, I have no problem, because that's what they do. Okay, that's what heathen do. That philosopher, is this real? Did this really happen? Are these people, did they really exist? That's what heathen do. I get it. But don't claim to be an Israelite and question whether this word is true. Step. Go get you Apocrypha. Go get you your whatever you get. But step. You understand? Step. Because you're not going nowhere. That's nothing. That's a waste of time. I can understand if somebody questions what something means. I don't understand, Most High. I don't understand what this is saying. Can you show me? Questioning what it means. Yes, fine. Because we're students to the Most High. We are disciples of Messiah. What does that mean? We are his students. A disciple is a student. The teacher that the Most High has appointed, the teacher is the Messiah, Yahweh Shah. And we are his students. So to question what something means or I don't understand, that's fine. But to question whether it's true or not, or to question whether it actually existed, to question if the Most High is, I don't care if you black as night or white as pale sheet, it's... You understand? So to say unbelief is like a philosophical thing. This was straight rebellion against the word of the Most High. He told y'all, I'm giving you this land because I promised it to your fathers. It's not even because of you I'm giving you the land. It's not even because of you. It's because I promised it to your fathers. I'm giving it to you. And I'm going to show you myself. Here, watch what I do to Pharaoh to get you out this Egypt. Watch how I deliver you. He purposely brought them to a spot where they were surrounded by mountains and only thing in front of them was the Red Sea. They were trapped. He purposely brought them there. He told Moses, I'm purposely bringing y'all there. because I'm going to show you my deliverance. See, that's why don't ever think that majority means anything on this earth. If you in the majority in a system of religion on this earth, you in trouble. You are in trouble. And that's why it really kills me when I see people, we have X number, we have 300 million members. Our church has grown from 1 to 10 million. We have 1 billion members on the planet. All that means is that you're wrong. That's all that means. Because the Most High is never with majority, brothers and sisters. Never. And yet, you want to check about how ironic this is? Majority really is not how many people. Listen to me. Majority is not how many people. I'm going to go against mathematics for a second. Majority is the Most High with one person. That's majority. The Most High with one is majority. You understand? So if he has one person on this earth standing for him, that's majority. To him, that's majority. You can have 100 million, 1 billion people on the other side. That don't mean nothing. You understand? It's going to take that to get in. 40. Numbers 14:34. Let's move forward because I got a lot to cover though. Numbers 14:34. After the number of days which ye search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, he says, even 40 years, ye shall know my breach of promise. So prophetically speaking, in Bible prophecy, a day is a year. Prophetic time. Also, 40 is a testing. Check this out. Moses was 40 years old when he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter and killed the Egyptian. He had to leave Egypt at age 40 because Pharaoh found out and was going to kill him. He stayed keeping sheep with Jethro 40 years. And at age 80, he was called back to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. Moses was put to rest at age 120, 40 years later. Okay? So his life was divided up into 40s. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. I've learned this, and I'm sharing it with you. No man can choose who his parents are. No man can choose where you're born. No man can choose what color they're going to be or what they look like. No man can do that. So you are born with something where you have no control. This is chosen for you. This is predetermined by the Creator. Where you're born, where you are, what family you're in, what your situation is. It's predetermined. You may not like the predetermination. That's not the point. The point is you can't control that. So that you shouldn't judge a person based on what they look like, because that person couldn't control what they look like. You understand? Like I was listening to a testimony of a young girl, like some 26-year-old girl that escaped out of North Korea. And the things she described, I studied in college. This was 30 years ago when I first graduated college. I studied a whole course on the Holocaust. I studied it from beginning to end. We did the whole history. I did papers on it, read books on it. And so the Holocaust was a bad thing. It's not as bad as what happened to the Hebrews. It's not as bad as that. They try to make it so for propaganda reasons, but it was bad, okay? This made the Holocaust look like a picnic, what's going on in North Korea, what this little sister testified about. And I realized she was born into that. She didn't choose to become North Korean. She didn't choose to be a little yellow person with slanty eyes that weighed 80 pounds. She didn't choose to be that. That's what she was born into. And I began to understand. She said they were so brainwashed, they believed that the premier is God. That's how they were taught. She said they were not taught, they were not able to listen to anything else or believe anything else or see anything else. That's all she knew was Kim Jong-il is God. Or no, they call him the son of God. His father was the Most High. All right? This is what they are being taught there. She did not choose to believe this. She didn't even understand. She's still dealing with head issues after she escaped. And the reason she escaped was she was just trying to get, she heard that they fed dogs in China rice. They didn't get rice in North Korea. They live on less than $1 a week. They're starving. And she said she was 13. She was so hungry. And her sister was so hungry. They said if they got shot trying to escape to China, it would have been fine because they was trying to get a bowl of rice. Okay? That's how she got out. Because that's how desperate they are. And I began to understand when the Most High talks about heathen, he's going to save. It's not these Caucasian people in the United States that are denying the truth. He's not saving people that are willfully ignorant. He might save people that's ignorant, like that woman was, by no choice of hers, because he's merciful. And it reinforced in my mind the importance of the 144,000 and how the Most High is emphasizing that importance in these last days to end this, to put an end to the whole stinking, unrighteous, nasty system that we live in, to destroy it and bring forth a kingdom of perfect righteousness where there's no more suffering. There's no more Kim Jong-il's or Donald Trump's. There's no more popes. There's no more false religion and false teachers. There'll be one God, the true God, and we'll see him with our eyes. And his son, who is the teacher, and we'll see him with our eyes. To put an end to all suffering and oppression. I understood, even a little bit. And I understand now what you understand. In every area of the earth, there's people suffering, right? Not only that, I mean, in the United States, in these cities. Hey, listen, you know, recently you've heard about all of the increases in gun violence in New York, and Chicago already had it in other cities. That's not accidental. You know, that's not accidental. That's planned. Okay? That's how wicked this system is. It's planned. Okay? And that's all I'm going to say about that for now, because we got other things to discuss. But brothers and sisters, he has called Jacob's children. He is awakening us for this moment. This is our moment. The moment of the awakening is the turning of this earth's tide and the entrance of the kingdom of the Messiah to put an end to all oppression, to put an end to oppression and death and greed, to put an end to corruption, to put an end to lies. How many times does he repeat in just the last 2 chapters of the book of Revelation? All liars outside. All liars outside the kingdom. This earth is filled with lies because Satan is the prince of this world. And people think they can be gods. Okay? It's soon going to end. So 40, a day for a year. Let's continue. Deuteronomy chapter 8. Deuteronomy chapter 8. Hold on, my cat wants to leave. What you was doing in here? Come on. Fritz, come on. You want to leave? Come on. Go on. Sorry about that. Deuteronomy chapter 8, from verse 1 down to verse 3. Actually, from 1 to 5. Deuteronomy chapter 8, from 1 to 5. All the commandments which and he's talking to the children of Israel, all the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which Yahweh sware unto your fathers. Thou shalt remember all the way which Yahweh thy most high led thee these 40 years in the wilderness. Led you 40 years in the wilderness. Why? To humble thee and to prove thee. Prove means to test. To know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man does not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh doth man live. Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thy heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so Yahweh thy most high chasteneth thee. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy most high, to walk in his ways and to fear him. 40, to prove thee. 40, testing. Moses, on 2 occasions, was 40 days with no food in the presence of him on 2 occasions. Elijah, after he had stood on Mount Carmel for the Most High against all his brethren that were with Baal, after he stood on Mount Carmel for the Most High by himself, after he outran the chariot, leading Ahab's chariot and horse back to the palace, outran him in the rain, he was threatened. His life was threatened by the wicked women. The wicked woman Jezebel said, as those prophets were killed today, the prophets of Baal, tomorrow at this time is going to be your turn. He got scared and he ran for his life. And the Most High's angel was waiting for him and fed him. The angel fed him. Fed him 2 portions of food. He gave food and drank water. He said he gave him more food and water. And he said he went 40 days on that food without eating. And in a cave, Most High talked to him. Okay, 40 days. 40, he was tested. The Messiah was 40 days, no food. 40 days in the wilderness, tempted of Asatan, the Bible says. He was tested. So please remember, 40 is what? Is testing. At the end of the 40, the testing is complete. At the end of the 40 years, the children of Israel did what? They went into the promised land. At the end of the 40 days, Messiah did what? He came and started preaching his word. The time is fulfilled. Repent ye and believe the gospel. At the end of 40 days, Moses came down with his face glowing, with the ark, with the covenant in his hand, the 2 tables of the covenant in his hand. His face was glowing to the point that they wanted him to wear a veil because they couldn't stand the glory of his face. It was scaring them. 40 is testing. And at the end of 40, the test is over. Remember that. Daniel chapter 9. Daniel chapter 9. This is going to be, I'm just telling y'all right now, it's going to be a little longer. We do hour and a half sometimes. I think we're looking at hour and a half today. There's a lot to go into, And I just, let me just say a quick word of prayer. Most High Yahweh, I just want to give you praise and honor and glory for all you do for us, for how you lead us, how you warn us, how you guide us in spite of ourselves. Guide us now in your word, because Father, only your name, Yahweh, should be uplifted and honored and given glory. And with you, your chosen teacher, the Lamb, Yahweh Shah. In the name of the Messiah, we pray. Amen. There's a lot to go into. And again, brothers and sisters, I just want to let you know what you already know, most of you. Because we are in the last days of Earth's history, because this world is controlled by hypocrisy and lies, there is tremendous efforts by the powers of darkness to prevent truth from being brought to the hearts of the people. Tremendous opposition on all levels, from all angles. Areas of opposition that we don't even realize because there's spiritual wickedness in high places. But I want to let you know, every human heart, listen carefully, Every human heart. See, you can't decide where you're born. You have no choice who your parents are, what nationality you are. You have no choice what culture you are born into. But you do have a choice. Listen now. What spirit is going to guide your life? You do have a choice. What spirit are you going to be made of? Is it going to be a spirit of righteousness or not? You have a choice. You can search out what truth is if you want to, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter where you're born into. And every human soul on the face of this planet that has a desire for that which is true, the Creator will make sure. The Creator will make sure. It's his responsibility, and he will make sure you find it. Messiah said to the woman at the well, the Samaritan, you know what you worship. Salvation is of the Jews. And he said, the time cometh and now is when the Creator, when the Father Yah will seek the worshipers that worship him in spirit and truth. He says, not here on this mountain, not where you are here in Jacob's mountain or in Jerusalem. He said, Father is seeking the people that want to worship him in spirit and truth. And every human heart has the ability to find that. Okay? No matter where you are, no matter what color you are, no matter where you're born into. Okay? Now, Father sets forth what the truth is. He sets forth what it is. Father is the truth. And as his teacher, Messiah, say, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Okay? The path of truth, the way is a path of righteousness. That's represented by Messiah, path of righteousness. The truth is Father and his word. That's represented in Messiah. He is the word made flesh. Life is the origin. They say, thus saith the Most High Messiah, the beginning of the creation of Yah in Revelation. That means he's the origin of Yah's creation. When Yah say, when it comes to the eternal mind of the Most High, he say he expresses himself through his Messiah. He say, this is what I want through it. Messiah say, done. Except why he say, through him he made the worlds. Hebrews chapter 1. So he expresses his desire through Messiah. All right. And he is the origin of everything that lives. Everything that lives. And so any person on the planet, no matter what culture you're born into, an Islamic culture in Afghanistan, a Hindu culture in India, okay, a Christian culture in Eurocentric America, any culture, communist culture in North Korea, he knows your heart. He knows those that are his. He knows the ones that have given opportunity which serve him. He knows. I don't know. He does. And I'm confident that he does. And he will save in his kingdom all those people. All of them. And I praise him for that. I praise him for that. So now, as we're going into Daniel 9, brothers and sisters, there's been a lot of teachings on Daniel 9. I've heard some of them. Anyway, I'm going to bring what the Most High has convicted me. See, this is what people don't understand. And it's hard. I understand why people don't understand. It sounds crazy. I understand why they don't get it, because on this earth, everybody is after something, man. Right? Everybody is about money mostly, right? Everybody wants the money. You know, get money, get money, get money. That's what this world is about. How can I get paid? How can I get money? That's what this world is about. This system is about money, love of money, root of all evil, trying to get ahead to get money. And then some people want to get famous to get money, right? It's about the money. It's about wealth and power. Okay. That's what this earth is about. It's not just the United States. This is what everybody, and the people in North Korea starving to death. They just want food, man. And that's why you have a lot of false religious doctrines. People got agendas that include control, right? They control. At the top of the pyramid is the Roman Catholic Church. They want control. Our Satan is ruling them, and through them, he intends to control the mind. When you control somebody's mind, you got them. See, when you control, that's why religion is the most powerful agent on this planet. Religion is because when you got somebody believing something, you got their mind, you already got the pocketbook. Okay, you got the mind, you got the whole thing. Okay, and that's what they want at the end of the day. Now, the truth is not something that can be bought or sold. The truth. Now, the Bible does say, buy the truth and sell it not. It's not with money, though. Like when Messiah say, buy of me gold tried in the fire. You can't buy it with money. You buy it with yourself, with your soul, with your mind, with your spirit, with your commitment. That's how you buy it. So the teachers, I've learned, if I'll be a teacher for the Most High, see, I've told y'all before, there was a time, the majority of my life, I was trying to get money. No different than anybody else. And the Most High called me when I was little. He showed me when I was little, you're going to teach my word. But I determined not to do it. I wasn't trying to be Jonah, but I didn't want to be a hypocrite. I didn't want to be a hypocrite. Because in other words, if I knew I wanted to go get money, I didn't understand. To my mind, I can't go get money and serve the Most High. I can't. Because I'd be a hypocrite. If I'm going to go get the money, I was going to go get the money. Okay? I'm going to go get it. I can't say I'm going to be a preacher of the word, and then in my heart, I want money. I seen that a lot growing up. There's preachers on every corner trying to get money with the Bible in their hand. So I didn't want that. And so I avoided it. Until one day Most High reached me. He reached me. He caught me. And I saw clearly, okay, can't get the money. Gotta go for the Most High. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, right? I'm not gonna do it halfway. Like if you're gonna get married to a woman and you're a man, you don't get married to her to control her. Do a lot of these stupid idiots do that? Try to control a woman, try to dominate her. It's stupid. If you're gonna get in, do it right and go all in. Don't go halfway. Okay? Don't do anything halfway. If you're gonna be in, be in. If you're not, life is too short. Life goes by very quickly, brothers and sisters. I think if you're older, you understand that. Sometimes as youth, people don't understand it. You think they're gonna live forever. You think that they're always gonna be young and strong. They don't understand. Years go by really fast. Really fast. And if you're going to do something, be all in or don't be, because you're just wasting time and you cannot get back time. Once you waste it, it's gone and you can't get it back. Okay? So try not to do that. Try not to waste your time. If you're going to be in something, be all in and go according to the conviction of the Spirit as it's led you if you're all in. Okay? That's why he said, I'd rather you not be lukewarm, either be hot or cold. Lukewarm makes the Messiah sick. He said, I'm going to vomit you out. It's nauseating. Make a decision. Stand for something. If you're going to stand for Hasatan, go all in. You want the money, go get it. If you're going to be in this word, though, it can't be about the money because they don't mix. Money and the word don't mix. It's like oil and water. You can shake it up and it look like it's together for a minute, but you let it sit, it's going to separate because the word of the Most High, money don't mix. Okay, so I'm decided I'm going all in. I'm poor. I'm in debt. And I ain't asking y'all for no money. Okay? Because the truth is more important. I get people sending me messages. I want you to look at this. I want you to look at that. You don't know this. You're wrong on this. I don't preach and teach stuff to be right. I preach and teach because this was given me. It's not, and I know y'all don't believe it, and I don't care. I'm just telling you, I get convicted and I teach and preach. Because I ask for truth, not to get paid, for the glory of the Father. Okay. Okay. So in Daniel 8, Daniel had a vision in Daniel 8. Okay. And the vision was explained to him. And as we know, Revelation 1 teaches us, again, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which Yah gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. So the order is Father gives a message. He gives the message to the teacher. That's Messiah. Okay. Messiah turns around and gives the message to a messenger, an angel that he sends. He sends that messenger to a servant. And we saw last night who the servants are, didn't we? Right? We saw last night in Leviticus chapter 25, verse 55, who Yah's servants are. So he goes and he sends the angel to his servants. And his servant is to present that message to the chosen people. And the chosen people represented to the earth. That's the order of things. Okay, that's the order of things. So when you see Daniel, for example, and you see him getting a message, sometimes he gets it in a vision. Okay, like he did in chapter 7 of Daniel, he saw a vision. In chapter 8, he saw an angel. And the angel Gabriel was giving him a message that Gabriel got from the teacher. The teacher is Messiah. That's why Gabriel later told him in chapter 10, no man holdeth with me in these things but Michael, your prince. Now, I know y'all don't believe this, but Michael is Messiah. Okay? People get all upset when I tell them that because they said it's a Jehovah Witness doctrine. I don't care whose doctrine it is. If it's from the word and it's true, it's true. Okay? Period. But that's another story. But he said, no man holdeth with me in these things because he said he got it from Michael, the prince. He said, I got it from Michael, your prince. He's the only one, no, because he's the ultimate teacher. Messiah is the teacher. That's why I call him Rabbi or Rabboni. Miriam said Rabboni or Rabbi because he's the teacher. Okay. And even what's the Nicodemus say? We know that you are what? A teacher come from Yah. For no man doeth these miracles that you do except Yah be with him. We know you're a teacher come from Yah. Okay. So Messiah is the ultimate capital T teacher. He gets his lessons from Father. Okay. So here in chapter 8, Daniel is getting a message. He's seeing a vision. He sees, and it's coming from Gabriel. Gabriel is explaining to him what he's seeing because it was coming from the teacher. So he gets this vision and he's understanding every part of it except one. And the one part he didn't understand worried him. Let's take a look. Daniel chapter 8. Daniel chapter 8. I'm going to begin after he sees the vision. And I'm going to begin at verse 11. Okay. I'm going to read from verse 11 down to 13. All right. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily was taken away. Let me read the italic part for clarity. The daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And they cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said to that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? So there is a power to make this short for y'all because we got a lot to cover. There's a part in the vision where it shows Asatan's power rising to a point where it was overcoming the people of Yah and the truth of Yah. It was overcoming. It was dominating the planet. Which is where we are now. It was showing Yah's people being dominated and his truth being trampled by a power that will be given authority from Asatan. And so the question was, how long are you going to let this happen? How long are you going to let this happen? That's basically the question. He's asking, he saw two angels speaking to each other, and Daniel's observing them, and they're asking the question, how long is he going to let this happen? Okay. Verse 14. And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Now, last night we talked about the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement is the day that the sanctuary is cleansed. Remember, we talked about this, how every day, twice a day in ancient Israel, there was a sacrifice, a morning and evening sacrifice for the sins of the people. And every day, the people that were confessing their sins, morning and evening, those sins were stored up in the most holy place. They were forgiven, taken off the people, putting on the animal that was sacrificed, and it was stored in the most holy place. And once a year, on the seventh month, the 10th day of the 7th month in the Hebrew calendar, the high priest was to go into the most holy place to cleanse the sanctuary. In other words, all the sins that had been forgiven, that was stored, were now taken out the sanctuary and placed on the head of a scapegoat. The cleansing of the sanctuary, the Day of Atonement. And the question was asked, how long are you going to be allowing this to go on? He said, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Then shall all the sins be taken out. Now, in Bible prophecy, we already said what? A day is equal to what? A year. Daniel understood this. So he knew that the time was long. And he said, so in other words, Daniel's an Israelite. He's in Babylon. He's in captivity. Now he understands that captivity was only supposed to last 70 years and they're supposed to go back into the land. But now he's seeing that the truth of Yah, the truth of sanctuary, the truth of the covenant was going to be dominated and trampled underfoot and destroyed for more than 2 millennium and 3 centuries. That's a long time. So you're telling an Israelite, your people are going to be trodden underfoot for more than 2,300 years. The truth of Yah is going to be trampled underfoot and dominated by evil powers for more than 2,300 years. This made Daniel sick. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. And then to make matters worse, the angel explained everything to him except that. Notice, the same Daniel chapter 8. Let's begin at verse, and again, when you look up the word days in the Hebrew, where it says 2,300 days, you will find the definition of days there is evenings and mornings. And I know a lot of people get confused. I've seen some real confusion from our Hebrew brethren, because some people think day just means daylight. And in some cases in the Bible, in the Hebrew, it does. It just means daylight. Sometimes it means the current 24-hour period, day. And then it means also evenings and mornings. Why is that? Because as you recall in Genesis, it says the evening and the morning were the first day. The evening and the morning were the second day. The evening and the morning. So the day starts with darkness. Darkness came before light. Remember? It says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. That's how the earth began. That's how the Most High created the earth. It was in darkness first, and it came to light. Because why? He's leading us out of darkness and into what? His marvelous light. So he goes by evenings and mornings. That's why we keep the Sabbath from the sunset of the day until the daytime of the other day. That's the 24-hour period. 12 hours in an ideal period, like in an equinox, is 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness in an equinox. So you have a spring equinox, you have a fall equinox. 12 hours each side. See? Now there's the winter and the solstice. They call it solstice. Why? Because in the summer, in June, the longest day of the year, as far as daylight, is in June, where there's way more daylight than there is darkness. And in the winter, there's way more darkness than there is light. But in the equinox, in the spring and the fall, the autumn, there's a point in which there's 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. That's the ideal day. That's equal, right? So evening and morning, you have 12 hours each one, right? Evening and morning, that's a day. So here when it says 2,300 days, it's 2,300 evenings and mornings. So it's translated days. But notice here, he also uses the other one, Daniel chapter 8, verse 26. Gabriel is explaining to him about this, and he doesn't go into too much detail. It's an important point, obviously. I mean, if you're Daniel, you're a prophet of the tribe of Judah, and you're now being told your people are going to end up in captivity for more than 2,000 years. When does this begin? What is this? How long? What? It's overwhelming. It's got to be. Okay. So now verse 26 and 27. And the vision, he says here, and the vision of the evening and morning, that's the 2300, which was told is true. Wherefore, shut thou, these are words he didn't want to hear, shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. In other words, we're not going to talk about that no more for a minute. What happened? Verse 27. And then he said, I, Daniel, fainted and was sick certain days. Afterward, I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. They weren't talking about the other part with the ram and the goat and all that, and the little horn. They understood that. It was explained to them very clearly. Okay, even told them what nations it represented. It said, this is Greece. It told them that. It said, this is Media Persia, this is Greece. It told them that, right? But the 2,300 years, they weren't explained. He said, shut that one up. We're not going to let you know about that yet. So he was sick. It's like somebody said, I got something to tell you, boys. I got something to tell you. What? I can't tell you yet. Right? You ever get that? Man, what? You said, what is it? What is it? Man, it involves you. I got to tell you, man. It involves you, but I can't tell you yet. Doesn't that bother you? That bothers anybody, right? That's what happened to Daniel. Right? Is involving your people 2,300 years. It's going to be a long time. Truth get ready to get trampled. When it begins, I can't tell you yet. Shut it up. I'll tell you later. Made Daniel sick. Okay, I was sick certain days. And none understood it. So he's explaining it to his Hebrew brethren. Probably went to Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah like he did in chapter 2. This is what happened. This is what I saw. I don't know what this is. What is this? They fasted and prayed. Nobody understood. Okay? So he's frustrated. And of course, he's concerned, as you and I would be. If you were back at that time, you were taken from Solomon, from with the temple that Solomon was made in Jerusalem. Your city was destroyed, but you were promised through the prophet Jeremiah, I'm gonna bring you back. You're gonna rebuild the temple. Everything's good. 70 years later, right? 70 years it's gonna take. But now you're being told about a 2,300 year period that's later than this, and you're wondering. You and I would wonder, what happens to the chosen people? 2,300 years. What are we going to survive this? Has the Most High finished with us? Have we really just pushed the envelope to the point where it's too late? He's concerned. That's what brings us to chapter 9. He's concerned. And he starts to fast and pray in chapter 9. He starts to fast and pray. Okay? And he's fasting and praying. And let's take a look. Let's go down chapter 9. Let's go down to verse 19. Let's start at the end of his fast. Now, I will say to anyone that's listening to me now, you want to know what true repentance is? Read Daniel's prayer in Daniel chapter 9. It shows you he's praying for the forgiveness of his sins and the sins of his fathers. Because the Most High is judging him and his people, not just individually, but as a nation, on a corporate nation level. All nations are judged this way. All nations. Again, you can't decide who and where you're born, what family you're born into, what culture you're born. You don't decide that. But you can decide once you are an adult, once you are conscious, which way you're going to go. You can be shown what the truth is. Maybe you're born into a lie. Okay? Maybe you're born into a lie. But the Most High would then expect you to come to the conclusion, there's a lie in my right hand. That's what he said. He said, will he not wake up and say, there's a lie in my right hand? He wants you to understand the right hand being the hand of what you are, what the truth is, what the serious is, the right hand. He says, is there not a lie in my right hand? He expects you to get to that conclusion. You can't decide. So if you're born in the United States of America, and you're European of descent, and you were born into a people, into a culture that has dominated and taken and raped and killed. You may not have done that, but your people did. You may not have been involved with it, but your people were. And you're all judged by that. You got to decide. I was born into this and it's wrong. You got to make a decision. Are you going to follow truth? See, I'm a black man. I was born in this nation as a second class citizen. I was born in a nation where, as a boy, I walk into a restaurant and said, nigga, get out of here. I was born when a man pointed a gun at me and could shoot it, and he knew he could kill me. This actually happened, and he knew he could get away with it. I was 12 years old. Okay? I was born where they can tell you, you're going to get a B in this class, though you're the smartest one. I could tell from my own experience, and I know my brother's been through much worse. I was born into that. I didn't choose it. My skin is light, and yet there were some places where they made me feel like I was black as night. I remember one man walked up to me. He said, I'm looking at sneakers. I'm minding my business. I'm 12 years old. And he said, you don't want them sneakers. I looked at him, Caucasian man, why not? Those sneakers are white. When you stealing, they'll see you with that. You want to get some black sneakers. So when you go stealing, they won't see you. I was born into that. I didn't choose that. And as I am awakened, I realize who I am. I was born into it as a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I was born into it because of the sins of my forefathers. My forefathers worshiped other gods. And that's why I'm born in this. I came to the conclusion and realization and accepted that truth. I didn't reject it. Other people have to accept truth based on where they're born. The Korean woman was not chose. She did not choose to be born in North Korea. When she came to herself, and the Most High blessed her to escape, she came to certain conclusions about her own nation. She doesn't understand why she was born there, but she understands she was born into it. All of us have to draw these conclusions and make decisions. Daniel's prayer was for his sins and the sins of his fathers, and he was praying that. And as we begin verse 19, notice the end part, the last part he said of that prayer. O Yahweh, hear, he asked. O Yahweh, forgive. O Yahweh, hearken and do. Defer not for thine own sake, O my Most High, for thy city and thy people are called by thy name. Okay, that just that one sentence gives you a lot, but you read the rest, you catch the whole thing. So he's saying, don't hesitate. Please help us for your own name's sake, for the city of Jerusalem and the people that dwell in it are called by your name. Reminding him of that. That's his position. He was born into the tribe of Judah. He did not choose to be born there, but the Most High, who decides where everybody is born, he chose to have it born there. He raised Daniel up as a prophet. Daniel wasn't chosen by Daniel. Daniel was chosen by Yah, and he recognizes that. Some people are born in Poland, Ireland, Australia. Some people are born in Malaysia, India, Thailand. Some people are born in Senegal, Ghana, Uganda. They didn't choose to be born in these places. They didn't choose whether their skin's going to be black as coal, brown, or white, or yellow. They were chosen into those places. But once they get chosen and they awaken to adulthood and consciousness, now they have the power to decide, what path do I want to walk in? Okay, all of us have been given that choice. Daniel, being born where he was born, as a descendant of the chosen man above all chosen men, Abraham, he understands the sins of himself and his people. He's concerned because of this 2,300-year period. He's concerned because of what was shown him. He's concerned for his people. There's a love for his people. He's concerned what's going to become of us. And the only thing he knows to do in that scenario is to repent, to fast, and to pray. Brothers and sisters, I want to tell you something. We're going to take a break now. I'm going to come back. But I want to tell you something. That's the natural reaction that the Most High wants, of repentance, of fasting and prayer and seeking answers from the Creator. In the Bible, they call it fasting and sackcloth and ashes, because at the time they would put on their oldest clothes and they put ashes on their head to represent how humble they felt, how much they are humbling themselves before the Most High, and how sad they are at the situation they're in. And even though we don't do sackcloth and ashes today, it's the spirit of humility, the spirit of seeking out, the spirit of being hurt, of being concerned of what's going on. See, we live in an information age, and it allowed me to see what this North Korean woman went through. It allows me to study what happened in Germany. It allows me to understand what happened with ADOS. We live in an information age, not coincidentally, to awaken us to what's going on, what's truth, if we want to know it. The sad thing is, as you know, the majority of people will keep their head bowed in the sand because they don't want to know. All they know is they got what they need. That's all they know. I got my needs. That's all they know. That's all they want to know. That will not save you in what's coming. There's a storm brewing. We're in the dress rehearsal right now. It's just in the distance. It's a spiritual storm. The only thing holding it back from blowing on this whole planet is the complete seal of the 144,000. When he finishes, and it's very shortly, as we're going to see 2027. That's what this is about. The title is the year 2027. We're going to continue this. When it's finished, everybody that got what they got coming is going to get what they got coming. Everybody. Whether you yourself think because you didn't do this and your descendants did it or not, it's coming. And you can't stop it. See, that's why, brothers and sisters, you're seeing a lot of frustration in America. In the United States of America, I can't speak on everybody, but the United States of America, the Caucasians are being frustrated. They're frustrated. You see them rucking into Walmarts and yelling at people and hitting people and jumping in people's faces and killing black men in the street for unarmed. What that is, they realize it. They're losing their power. It's not because we're getting stronger. It's because Yah, who gave them the power, is deciding your time is fulfilled. And them being arrogant enough to think it's just because of how strong and smart they are, they can't handle it. That's what you're seeing. It's a backlash of frustration because they can't handle it. To see that their power is receding. See? When he put us as ADOS, when he put us under their power, we had no power to fight against them because it was his word. You will have no power to stand before your enemies. His word declared that. Well, his word also says, until their time is fulfilled. And now that the time is fulfilled, they're losing power and they don't understand it. And they're getting frustrated and angry and they're lashing out. See? And you're going to see a lot more of that because it's not us and it's not them. It's the Most High. He's decided. The time is fulfilled. Okay? Let's continue reading before we take a break. We want to come back here. Verse 20. Notice what it says. And whilst I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel and presenting my supplication before Yahweh, my Most High, for the holy mountain of my Most High, verse 21, yea, whilst I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, that's from chapter 8, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. So, Gabriel was caused to fly. Remember now, we're going to be as the angels, and as we read in Isaiah 60, we're going to have the ability to fly. I know that sounds crazy, but he just said it. Gabriel flew, and in Isaiah 60, who are these that fly as birds to their windows? Yes, brothers and sisters, in the kingdom, we will have the ability of flight. We won't need planes. We'll be able to go ourselves. where we want to go. Okay. Praise God. So Gabriel was sent and he flew to Daniel and he touched him while he was still praying. Daniel was praying. He was speaking in prayer. He was crying out to his God and it was touched by Gabriel. Imagine he must have been scared to death. Or deep in prayer. All of a sudden the hand touches you and it's an angel. But you have seen him before. He said, I've seen him before. I see him in the vision at the beginning. It was chapter 8. He saw him. That's the vision he's talking about. Okay, I see him in the vision at the beginning. He touched me. And notice how he marked the time. He's a captive in Babylon. There are no sacrifices taking place in Jerusalem because the temple has been destroyed. But he marked the time. What time was it? About the time of the evening oblation. See, twice a day. There's a morning and evening sacrifice. See, about the time there would be an evening sacrifice, Gabriel came and touched me. About sunset. About sunset. Gabriel came and touched him. Okay, being caused to fly swiftly. In other words, the Most High said, go now, go fast. And Most High told Messiah, the teacher said, go now, go fast. Boom. Gabriel came. Brothers and sisters, we praise y'all because he does that for us. That's Daniel's a man like you and me. He's a person, human being, flesh and blood. And they sent the angel, said, go fast, swiftly. Boom, he was there, touching me. Okay, Gabe, it's time to talk, brother. Time for us to chat. Let's wrap. Okay, got a message for you from the teacher. Praise the Most High, yeah. So, chapter 9, verse 20, 21, we are seeing now the setting. So Daniel's confessing his sin. He's concerned. He's concerned about what's going to happen to his people after he heard about this 2,300 years. He's concerned. So now he confesses sin. And he begins chapter 9. Let's read one more verse before we take a break. He begins chapter 9. Let's read verse 1, 2, and 3. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of years whereof the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem. And I set my face unto the Most High Yahweh to seek by prayer and supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. So after he's told about this 2,300-year period, he's remembering that Jeremiah said it's only 70 years. For us, and he's wondering, did the Most High change his mind? What's going on? And he's beginning to fast and pray. Okay, so as he's doing that, Gabriel is sent very quickly to tell him what's going to happen. Because now it wasn't. He understands. Most High knows what he's doing with us. He knew that Daniel was going to be frustrated when he was told, "Shut up the vision." He knew that Daniel was going to be scared. He knew Daniel. See, he knows what material he's dealing with. The Most High knows us better than we know ourselves. That's why I always say, I come to the Most High sometimes and say, show me myself. A scary prayer. Show me myself. Show me where I'm. And he'll show me, brother, you was wrong there. You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have said that. And I'll be like, oh, man, forgive me. And I have to, happens, right? Or he showed me, look, you fine. Just keep going the path I sent you. Don't turn off it. Okay? He does that. But I ask him, am I wrong here? Show me, Most High, because I want to do, because it's not about me. I'm just a vessel. I want to do your will. So am I wrong here? I have to ask him. And brothers and sisters, a scary prayer. The worst thing, one of the scariest things on earth is to see a true vision of yourself. Most people don't want to do it. That's why you call them willfully ignorant. So Daniel is doing that. He's asking the Most High, what's going on? I'm praying, fasting. Please help us. Now he sends Gabriel. I'm going to tell you something. Let's wrap, brother. He said, let's wrap. Touch him. But time of the evening oblation, at sunset of that day, at the beginning of a day. That's the beginning of a day. Okay? He's telling, okay. Time to talk. So now it's 1:23. No, sorry, 12:28. Been an hour and 24 minutes. I'm going to take a break here. I could keep going, but I don't want to overwhelm y'all. People that see the videos already, they always tell me hours is long or whatever. So I can only do that. So I'm going to stop here. Let's take a break. It's 12:28. I'm going to come back at 12:50. Yes, the man gave was the same as the angel gave was. Same thing. Yeah. He said, no, notice, and you could tell because he said there, he said, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly. A natural man cannot fly. Right? A natural man cannot fly, correct? A natural man cannot fly. I cannot fly. I don't have wings to do that. But he said the man Gabriel that flew. That's telling you this is not just a regular man. You understand? It's the man Gabriel that flew. He said being caused to fly. So this is the angel. All right. All right. So we're going to step away, come back in 20 minutes at 12:50, and we're going to continue here and do this. Go here. Remember now, Daniel 9 was studying. Let's just review what we already studied. 40 is a time of testing. 40 is a time of testing. 40 is a number that means testing. I'm going to make sure you got that. Testing 1, 2, 3. Make sure you got that. So we're going to come back at 12:50 and continue this study as we're looking at Isaiah 61 and the year 2027.